So what we are discussing in this class? So we are discussing about version control system and source code management, right? Understood? Now you understood the what is source code management and what is version control system, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the first point. So what is that? Store all developers. Store all developers code at common one common storage, right? So one common storage. Something like what is that? Push you pull. What is that? Push and
Full.
pull. So what is push to? What is pull to? So send code from developer mission to storage. Send code from developer mission to dev mission to storage. Storage means the remote repository. What is that? The repository. You understood? That is nothing but a push. What is pull? Pull is nothing but a fetch. Fetch code from storage. Storage means repository. Repository to dev mission. Okay, now you understood? So what is that? So store all the developers code at one common storage. That common storage is a repository. What is push? Push is nothing but a send code from dev mission to storage mission. Fetch is nothing but a full is nothing but a fetch code from the storage to dev mission. Right. The second point, version controlling means what is version controlling means need to store all details, need to store all details of code modifications. What is that? Version controlling means need to store all the details of code modifications. So how many times code is modified? How many times code is modified? How many times code is modified? And who did these modifications? Who did these modifications? Who did these modifications? At what time? At what date and time? What is the date and time? Okay. So know of number of lines added. So what are the number of lines added, removed, and number of versions? Number of versions. Number of versions. Understood? How many times code is modified? Who did these modifications at what time, at what date and time? No number of lines added, removed, number of versions. Understood?
Yeah.
So third point is something like a Git client. What is that? Git client, also known as Git or Git bash. What is that? Git also Git bash is used to develop and config mission. To develop and config the mission that connects with the Git vendor. That connects with the Git vendor. So, for example, who are the Git vendors? GitHub, GitLab, GitLab, and Bitbucket. What is that? GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. These all are the Git clients. So Git clients with the Git contact. Okay, Git client. So next, so what is the Git branch? What is a branch? So branch is nothing but a maintain separate code base for application. So what is that? Separate maintain a separate code base for applications like development, development branch, production branch, UAT branch, stage branch, hotfix branch, and testing branch, etc. So these all are the development. These all are the branch. A branch maintain a separate code for code base for application. Okay. In Git, we already told you, right? Two types of repositories. In Git, we have two types of repositories. You see, guys. So yesterday I already told you, right? Source code management. Source code means so centralized version control system and distributed version control system. The management of a changes of a documents, computer programs, large websites, and other collection of information called as a data. So how we are maintaining the data? We are maintaining the data like centralized version control system, distributed version control system. So in the centralized version control system, there is no local repository. So we have only remote repository. So in the developer system, so commit and update the servers. In the distributed version control system, there is a local repository. From the local repository to remote repository. So in the local repository, we can commit and update the code. Then from local repository to remote repository, we can push and pull the code. Now you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right? Yeah. We see here. So something like what is Git source code management? Git is a distributed version control tool that supports the distributed non-linear workflows by providing the data assurance for the developing the quality software. So what is that local repository and remote repository? So what are the actions we have done in the local repository? So we can use the git add, git commit, git checkout, git merge. From the local repository, remote repository, we can use the git push and git pull. So for getting for first time, we can use the git clone command. For sure, we can use the git clone command. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So right now we understood the local repository. Local repository. So what is local repository? Developers. The developer. The developer mission contains contains code at .git folder. So the local repository developer mission contains a code. The developer mission contains code at a .git folder. So contains a code at .git folder. Remote repository. What is that? Remote repository. In the remote repository, the GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. Bitbucket. So GitHub, GitLab contains code connected to all dev machines. Connected to all dev machines. Now you understood? So local repository and the remote repository. What is that? Local repository and the remote repository. So local repository is nothing but a developer mission contains code at .git folder. Remote repository means a GitLab, Bitbucket contains code connected to all dev missions. All dev missions. Data science processor. Exactly. Which will be one question. How much time? 2 minutes, 3 hours. Okay. All missions, local repository, remote repository. So now you understood the remote repository and the local repository. So local repository contains what the local repository. So in our local mission, so remote repository is nothing but you already know, right? Our GitHub account. So this is a remote repository. So we in the first in you are modifying the code in the local repository, then you can push it to the remote repository. You can push it to the remote repository. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So then, yeah. So register. So register and login GitHub account. Register and login GitHub account. How you can register and login GitHub account? You can use the HTTPS colon double slash GitHub github.com. So github.com. This is the website you are referred to log in the server. So next, the second step is something like a create a create one new or empty repository. Empty repository. Empty repository. So something like how you can create your empty repository. Something like I created a AWS with AWS with DevOps. So I'm creating a so something like this is the public repository. So what is that? So it's a public repository. It's a public repository. So how you can something like a click on plus symbol and enter any name, then create repository. Right. So you can create a any repository. So make sure you install the Git client on your. So next, we created the repository, right? So for example, so what is the repository URL? So repository URL is something like this is the repository URL. Repository. So this is the repository URL. Then, so the third one is make sure you installed Git client, Git bash on your local machine. So how you can install the Git client? HTTPS double slash colon git hyphen cm.com slash downloads. So we will install the download the Git. So so create a folder name called something like a yeah. So something like step 4. What you can do? You can do create a folder name call it as AWS DevOps or something like what is the what type of AWS DevOps material. This is the name we can create. Okay, and execute the below command. Execute the below command. So what are the commands you need to execute? It for a very first time. So very first time we can use. So we can use git config hyphen global username dot email address. You can provide the username dot email. So something like Cheripu dot harikrishna at gmail.com. Okay. So the double quotes you can provide the username email address. The same like a git config hyphen global user dot name. Is that? So this is the global. We can set the username and password for the very first time. Okay. Yeah. I will create a user for you. What is that? GitHub.com, right? www.github.com. Sign up. Click on sign up. Enter email address. See, this email have provided is already associated with an account. So, right? Mm. With the technologies. Mm. So you can tell me your name, Gmail address, Pavan, Prem,
Sir, I already have, sir. 1G
already
Git.
shared.
No, sir, I have Git.
Yeah, one second. Yeah, this one now. Away some.
Yes, sir, okay, sir.
Yeah. So we can use this one. And the password we are setting.
No, same, sir. I have given, sir.
And okay.
Sir,
So it's already you
in
already
sir.
created a database account. Huh?
Yes, sir. You could sign in, sir, with that.
Hmm?
Sign in, దాంతో సైన్ ఇన్ అవ్వండి సార్ నేను ఒకరు కూడా క్రియేట్
So now you understood, right? You already signed in the frame. So this is the just sign up. It will ask the username, password, and activation. Then it will automatically create it. Guys. Okay.
సార్
So once you created, right? So what is the URL for that? So the URL is so create a empty repository, new repository. How you can create a repository? The repository is what is that? Something like um, BlueJ test. Okay. So BlueJ test is the repository. Okay. So click on public. Create a repository. Yeah, repository is created. Which repository? The BlueJ repository is created. So if you see something like clone this repository, yeah. So by cloning this repository, so something like what this is? This is the BlueJ tech. This is the repository. Make sure you install the Git client on our bash machine. Okay. So you've already installed the.
ఎస్ సార్
I also already installed the Git bash. So Windows credentials. Yeah, I already give it to you. Yes. I remove the credentials, please. Okay. Yeah. What is Git bash? So I already installed the Git and the Git bash. This is the Git. How to install the Git bash? You already know, right? How to install the Git bash? Git bash. git download. That's right. So go to downloads, and this is for Windows, right? Just click it. So it is 64-bit, right? It will download it. It will download for the 64-bit. Just next, 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 next. It will install the software. Just next, next, next. It will install the software. Yeah, we install the Git bash on our local. Okay. So yes. So Git bash. So how you can first time how you can create the users. So you can create the user global config user email and the username. Okay, are you able to see, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you're able to see, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the command you need to execute? Yeah. So what is how you can set the global username and password? Git config hyphen global user dot name or user dot email dot request to gmail dot com. Okay. So this is the username. What is the user dot name? What is the user dot name here? Arisa is the user dot name. Okay. So you set the username, password, right? So git. So which folder you want to create a folder, right? So you want to create the folder. So this is nothing but to set the username, password. Next. So mkdir. So something like a include test. So cd include test. Right. So you want to create a new empty local creates a new empty local repository. How you can create the new empty local repository? You can use git init. So what is the command? So to create a new empty local repository, you can use the git init command. So next, create some code files. How you can create the some code files? So you can create the some code files by using touch command. Touch abc.txt, mno.txt, pqr.txt. For example, so these are the files. So these are the files. Okay. So something like rename a local branch. How you can rename the local branch? So something like how you can rename rename the local branch. How you can rename the local branch? You can rename the local branch by using get branch, get branch hyphen capital M main. So right, so we can rename the git branch. So we can rename the git branch. So mkdir, what is that? Launch test cd launch test. So what is that? How you can create a git dot init git create a in new empty repository. Initialize empty git repository. C dot git file. Now you understood? So dot git file. So right. So under the dot git file, what you can do? You can create the touch abc dot txt mno dot txt pqr dot txt. So these all are the empty files created, right? Empty files created. So what is the branch? The branch is master branch. I want to rename the branch. How you can rename the branch? Get branch hyphen capital M main. So branch rename it to, so git branch hyphen M main. M is nothing but a main branch. I'm renaming it to main. Okay. So select files to a stage area. Select files to a stage area. Here I will take. Yeah. So here we created the, okay? Yeah. So here, so we created a file called something like a once. So what this is? This is local repository. This is a local repository. And this is a remote repository. Okay. So what repository we created? The local repository we created as a, so Blue test. We created as a Blue test. Okay. So how you created the Blue test? We created the Blue test local repository, git init command. So through the git init command, we created the local repository, right? So local repository. So what are the files we created? We created the files called as a abc.txt, menu.txt, and pqr.txt. So these all are the three files we created. Three files we created in our laptop. So these files are recognized in the local repository? No, these files are not recognized. If you want to recognize these files, so this is the working directory. Your working directory is here. You created a abc.txt. So these are not recognized by the local repository. So it will resolve. How it recognizes? So by using git add command. So git add command, it will go from um, working directory to staging area. Working directory to staging area. From staging area to, you need to go to the local repository. How you can go? We can go by using the git commit command. So git add is nothing but to add the files into the staging area. So git commit is nothing but to commit the files from staging area to local repository. Local repository. So what is here, guys? So here git checkout and git merge. What is git checkout? So git checkout is nothing but changing from one branch to another branch, which merge is nothing but merging into the main repository. Merging into the main repository. Git push is nothing but push the local changes from local to the remote repository. Pull is nothing but we can pull the data from the remote repository to local repository. Remote repository to local repository. Now you understood? So what is the commands? So for example, select files to stage area. So how you can select the files to the stage area? So what is the command? Yeah, abc.txt, mno.txt, pqr.txt. Right? A git add is nothing but to add the files to the staging area. Or else you can use git add dot. So dot is nothing but so whatever the files right in the staging area in the working area it will go to the staging area. Next, commit files to local local repository. So how we can commit the files from local repository? Git commit hyphen m my first commit. So this is my first commit. Hyphen m is nothing but a commit says right. What is that? So git status. If you check the status, right? So the status you see, so these files are on branch main. So these are not yet committed. So these will be committed. First, if you untracked files, untracked files will be saying it in the red color. These all are the untracked files. So if you want to from untracked to track, so use the git add to track the files. Git add dot is nothing but it will select all the files. Now git status. So git status. So these files are tracked files but not committed. So how you can commit? Can commit by using the git commit hyphen m my first commit. So this is my first commit. Okay. Now the files are seeing it in the local repository. The local repository abc.txt, mno.txt, and pgr.txt. These files are tracked files. Git status. So you see, so on branch main, nothing to be commit. Working tree is clean. Working tree is clean because of it's added three files to the local repository. So local repository. So how you can see the all the commits? To see the all the commits, you can use the git log command. So git log command to see the all the log files. So commit, so committed the code. Committed the code. See all commits. So what are the commits of git log? Okay. Create a link between local repository to remote repository. So remote repository only one time, only once. So we can link we can link between local repository to remote repository. So you can link the remote repository to local repository to remote repository. Git remote git remote hyphen git remote add origin. What is that? What is the origin? Git remote add. We can add the remote repository. Git remote add origin. So what is the remote repository, guys? The remote repository is command C. Command. So right. Understood? Git remote add origin. You see, git added. It added. Something like a send code from local repository to remote repository. How you can send the code from local repository to remote repository. Send code from remote repo. So what are the commands, guys? Commands git push hyphen u origin main. So we are pushing code from origin to main. Origin main. Okay. So that is git push hyphen u origin main. Okay. Or else we can use the command git push. So these are the two commands to push the code. Git push hyphen u origin main. Git push. So git push hyphen u origin main. We are pushing the code. So right here. So if you want to connect from your local to remote. So definitely we need a authentication. We need a authentication. For that authentication, we need to create the token. GitHub token. How you can authenticate with it? So we can authenticate with by using GitHub tokens. The settings. Go to the settings and yeah, developer settings and personal access tokens. Token classic. Generate a new token. Generate a new token. Token name is nothing but a BlueJTech. So what is the token name? BlueJTech is the token name. So the expiration is never expire, no expiration. So public repositories create a token, generate a token. What is this? So this is the token. What is that? This is the token. Yeah, how you can provide this token? You can provide by using connecting through the token. Okay, sign in. Yeah, now you see. So remote permission to the pre-master denied. So unable to access the BlueJTech, the request URL written under 404. Why? So how you can so it's good, right? Generate a new token. Token name is something like JTech. Public project is private project is repository permissions, administration access, invite access, first and minutes, code, space, data, publication, between access, depending on the community discussions, which closes into first, invite, Issues.
Sir, there you have given your credentials, no, sir.
Hmm?
You have given your credentials, no, sir, for this Git bash username, user email.
Then into the browser. Let's see this one. The name, password, right? Yeah. You see, authorization is successful, right? Now you can able to push the code from your local machine to BlueJ test to your remote repository. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how you can check the version Git version? You can check the Git version. Okay, now you understood, right? Git branch. Okay, so now, so you already committed the code and pushed the code, right? So you can check it, the code. What is that? Go to this profile or your repositories. So repositories. So BlueJ test repositories. Okay. So you push it to the your repository. Yes. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now you understood, right?
Sir, if I write code in
One
VS
second.
Code, then how to?
So now you understood the git push and everything, right? So now you understood the git client software push code, pull code. Now you understood. Okay. Git git client software, something like a in the dev mission and the client missions. Now you understood this one, right? So what are the vendors? So what are the vendors? So what is a vendor? Store your code, manage versions and history. So we can check it from the vendors. Okay, so we can check it from the vendors. Third is the GitHub, GitHub from Microsoft. Further, GitHub, GitLab. Okay, okay, bucket. So big bucket is so big bucket is fertilization company. Okay, fertilization company big bucket. Okay, so these all are the vendors, and we have a another also something like AWS, etc. AWS Pro, right? Git init. What is that? Git init. So empty Git repository. Empty Git repository. So what is that? It will create the .git folder. It will create the .git folder. Git add. What is that? Git add. So select files to stage area. Select files to stage area. Git commit. So what is Git commit? Send to local repo. Git push. What is a git push? Git push is nothing but a send files to remote repo. Git files means send to remote repo. Guys, so git remote add name URL name. So name URL name you already know. So default branch name is local, mission is master. It is remote is an main. So rename the main, branch main to rename. Yes, we renamed the branch. Git clone. So what is a clone? Git clone. So git clone is implemented to fetch a copy of a remote repository. Copy of a remote repository into local repository. So local repository, something like a new project import. So what is that? New project import. Example, something like a git clone. So what is that? So for example, HTTPS. What is that? You can create your own repository. So go to the frame server and repositories, right? Go to the repository, new repository. So what is that? File test. File test is the new repository, public repository, create a repository. Right. How to clone this repository? How to clone this repository? You can copy this one. Okay. You can copy this repository and how you can get clone? CD git clone test. This is the cloning into the repository. CD file test. You see, git remote icon V. So it will display the remote. So it will display the remote. Okay. So what is it? Git status. Git status is nothing but git clone repository. Git status. So what is git status? So we'll show all untracked, unstaged, and so committed files. So right, so git log. Git log is nothing but to find all the commits history. To find all the commit history, something like output. commit to author date, right? So it will display commit the message. Okay, so commit message. So something like I don't want entire information. I want just log icon one line comment. So it will display just output. Will display just output ID branch details. ID branch details. Commit message. So commit message. So nice, understood. So what is the command? The command is nothing but a git diff commit id one to commit id two. It will differentiate the this command is show used to show the used to show the differences between two comments. So what are added and what are deleted. So it will display the what are added and the what are deleted. So dollar git pull. What is the git pull command? To fetch uh, to fetch files from remote repository to local repository, local repository and the workspace. Okay, workspace. So what is that? Git pull is nothing but to fetch the files from remote repository to local repository. So what is the difference between git push and git pull? What is the question? Something like what is the question? So what is the difference between git pull and git push, guys? So pull is nothing but pull the code from the remote repository to local repository. Push is nothing but uh, mm, so send the code from local repository to remote repository. Okay. So the next question. This is the next question. So what is mean by untracked, untracked, unstaged, unstaged, and how how can find those files. How can find this files? So untracked means a new file is created in workspace. Okay, a new file is created in workspace means a developer mission. A new file is created. Okay, so what is that? Not exist in remote and local repository. Not exist in local repository. So what is that? Unstaged. What is that? Unstaged. Unstaged is nothing but a existed file is modified and not added to stage at not added to stage at what is that? Use command git add. Use command git add. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So something like to find them use command. So to find them use command is git status. What is that? Git status. So what is the default branch name in git name? What is the default branch name in the git? What is the default? What is default branch name in git? So something like answer. So what is the answer, guys? Answer is master or main. The new version, so we use new version we call it as a main. In the older version we call it as a master. Okay. So branch. What is a branch? What is a branch? What is that? Branch. So what is a branch? So branch is nothing but a creating a new code base or separate separate code for each developer, each developer or department. Okay. Every local branch is connected with the remote branch. So remote branch, something like a upstream. What is that? Remote branch is nothing but a upstream. So something like an example. What is example? Main to origin, main futures, future underscore one, origin, futures underscore one. So this is nothing but a main to origin main. Future one is equal to origin, future one is. New branch, new branch can be created from one existed branch. One existed branch, either we can create, you can create in local and update to remove, ready to remote to R. So we can create in remote, update to local, update to local. Yes, understood? So what are the examples? So example branches are something like a developer branch, main branch, UAT branch, production branch, right? Examples of branches. So what are the example branches? Something like a developer branch, main branch, UAT, production, end users, something like that. End users, hotfix, branch, futures, staging, and integration. These all are the and etc. This it is the branches. Okay. So examples of the branches. Now you understood the example of the branches, right? So new branch must be existed branch from there a copy is created. Git branch name. How you can create the new branch? Git branch name. New, new, new name of the okay. So new name of the branch name. New name of the branch. We'll create a new branch. Okay, so create a new branch, future one from main and still in the main branch. Okay, create a new branch, feature one and creating a feature from main branch and still in main branch, still in main branch. Something like what is that? git branch branch ATI feature, right? So this is nothing but an old model. The still in is in the main branch. So you want to create and move the new branch. How you can create and move to new branch. Create a new branch. Git checkout. Git checkout I could be future. So it will automatically create and move to that branch. Okay. So to view all the branches, to view all the branches, so we can use the git branch. Is a git branch. Switch from one branch to switch from one branch another branch, another branch. So we can use git checkout branch name, git checkout branch name, git checkout feature one, git checkout main. So feature one to main. So I want to copy comments from one branch to another branch. You can use git switch feature one. Copy comments from one branch to another branch, nothing but a match. Is that git match is nothing but a so we can okay. So now I will show you now, please. I will show you the all the comments. Copy comments from one branch to another branch. You can use the git match command. So what is the git match? So next we need to we need to link local branch with remote creating creating a new remote branch. New remote branch. Right. So what is the branch you can use? Git push hyphen set upstream. Set hyphen upstream. Set hyphen up upstream. Origin future one. What is that? Git push hyphen set upstream origin future one. We need to link the local branch with remote by creating the new remote branch. Okay. So next, git push hyphen new origin future one. Okay. To fetch new branches from remote to fetch new branches from remote to local. So we can use git pull command and git git checkout branch branch git checkout branch. Yeah. Please understood. So this is nothing but a git pull and git checkout. So next, so delete branch. What is that? Delete branch. So how you can delete the branches? You can delete the branch. Delete branch in local. How you can delete the branch? Git branch. Hyphen D is nothing but a delete. Future. Future one. So we can delete the branch. Delete remote branch. Delete remote. The remote branch you can use git push origin, git push origin hyphen d future. So it will delete the remote branch on so on. Yes, now you understood? Yeah. So what is that? You already know the git delete, git commit, git push, and git commit and git push, right? Git clone is nothing but we already discussed the git clone, right? Git status we already discussed about git log. What is that? Git status, git log. So git log it will show the so it is not a cd dot minus. What is that? Cd widget list. Okay, git log. Yeah. So I don't want to full author date commit to so the tester I don't want. So I want a one line git log hyphen one line comment. So you see, so it will get the one line comment. Next, what is the next comment? Yeah, git diff commit one and commit two. For example, git touch xyz dot txt. Okay, git add sorry add git commit hyphen commit. Right. So this is the committed git status. You see, so working tree is the git log. So right. So we have a two commits. So we have a two commits. I need a. I don't want this much with one line. Is a one line. So what is the git ID? That the commit ID is. So the short form it will give the short form git ID. So what is git diff commit ID 87 7 3 5 4 3 C 1 A 0 A B. Yeah. So the git diff between two commits, git diff for something like xyz and xyz.txt. So deleted file mode, something like index. What is the difference? XYZ is added. So what is that? So XYZ is added. Okay. Now you understood? The next is git pull. So git pull is nothing but to fetch files from remote repository to local repository and the workspace. So git pull. So already uploaded. So you can add the data in the remote repository also. So BlueJ test. In the BlueJ test, you see add a file, create a new file. So what is that file? The file is something like some text.md or text.txt. Right. This is my text file. Okay. Commit the changes. Yes, commit the changes. Okay, so we have a ABC, MNO, PQR, and a test.txt. So I want a, so whatever the data in the remote repository, right? I want those record. So what is that git pull? We use the git pull. See, we have. text. So this is pulling from here to here. We want to push the code also, right? So we want to push the good to fetch the files from remote repository to local repository. Yes. So what is the difference between you already know, right? Untracked and tracked. So git status is nothing but a find the status of the commands. So what is the default branch? Main. So branch, right? I want to push the code. How you can push it? You can push the code by using git push. Now you see here there is no XYZ, but now it will get the XYZ also. You see XYZ also. XYZ also. I'm committing the code from, I'm pushing the code from main repository only. Okay. So we want to create a branch. So branch is nothing but a creating a new code base or a separate code for each development department. Every local branch is connected with the remote branch. So main, origin, main, future, origin, future. Okay. New branch can be created from one existing branch in the local and update into remote. We can create a remote and update into the local. So examples of the branches. So git branch name. What is the branch? Git branch feature one. So create a new branch feature one from main and still in the main branch only if you create it. So this is the old one. So how you can create a new one? Create and move the new branch. Git checkout -b future branch. For example, I will show you this here. So where you are in the which branch? You are in the main branch. Git branches. So branch, git branch. So it will if you execute the git branch, it will display the how many branches we have. So we have still now we have only one branch. Git branch, git branch name. What is that? Git branch name. Future one. You see, so the future one branch is created, but the still we are in the main branch. If you want to go from so how many branches we have? Git branch. So git branch. Okay. So we have a two branches, future one and main. I want to go to future branch. Git checkout. What is the command? Git checkout, future one. You see? So the branch is changed. Right? Git branch. You see? Future one. It is showing in the grid. Future one. I want to go again. I want to create a branch. Git branch. Hyphen B. Hyphen B means it will go to directly git checkout. Git checkout hyphen B branch name. What is the branch? FEA future. I'm creating future to branch. Okay. Git checkout hyphen B is nothing but we can create the branch and switching the branch from future one to future two. Okay. It will move to the branch. It will move to the branch. Understood? Yeah, to view all the branches, git branch. Switch from one branch to another branch, git checkout. So what is that? Just git checkout. So we can go from one branch to another branch. Copy commits from the one branch to another branch. The merge command. What is that? Git merge command. So we need to link a local branch with the remote by creating a new remote branch. Git push hyphen setup string. So future branch. Okay. So I want to link to the remote branch. So I want to link a branch with remote branching. So how you can link it? So this branch is in the only, you see, this branch is only in the local repository, but not in the remote repository. You see. So what are the branches are there? There is no branches, only one branches. I want to, you created a branch for it. This branch need to set up with the remote branch. Git push say hyphen set upstream origin future one or future two. Okay, it set to the branch and created the branch. You see, how many branches we have? Yeah, you see, main branch, future branch. How many branches we have? So we have a two branches. So one is main branch and the other one is so here you see. So branches are two branches, main and future branches. Okay. Okay. So now you are in the which branch? Feature branch. I want to create a merge request, right? So I'm writing a code touch to gtech.com.txt. Okay. So I need to create a merge request, right? Git add dot git commit hyphen m message new gtech gtech message. Okay. Git status. So nothing to be commit. Working tree is clean. So we can go. Yeah. Git match. Right. Let's see. Right. Create a pull request. So pull request is nothing but a merge request. Merge request from main to git checkout main. Git checkout main. Git git match. Yeah. So you can create a pull request from. So you can create a pull request from main to future point. Oh God. You see, if you execute the code dot, right? So it will in the footer. It will open your groups, right? So the future branch, I want to push this branch. Okay, push. Okay, I push to the committed. I measure the commit. Let's see. Pull request. Yeah. You see, future branch had a recent pushes less than a minute ago. Compare and create a pull request. So it's a pull request created from to future branch to main. New pull request, create a pull request. Yeah. So match the pull request. Okay. Confirm match. Close the pull request. Okay. Now let's see it in the repository. Yeah. So there is a blue tech is created. So it is created from the through the pull request. Through the pull request. Right. So now you understood. So pull request and upstream, adding, merging, creating, checkout, everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So from tomorrow onwards, so we will show you the containers, Docker container. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yep. Thank you.